Peace, you guys. I'm way down here somewhere. I don't know. I'm looking down here. This is where I'm seeing my face. I'm looking down there. But this is Saturday morning, and I'm over here on Prophecy Words. This person, I can't tell you who it is because I don't know who it is, but I get this feeling, I get this vibe that it's a girl, and it's okay. Do you know one of the things that I do have an interesting inkling to is when I read people's when I read what people write, their text messages to me, I can almost, I feel like I hear their voices whenever I read their stuff. It's just really cool. So over here also, she's always uploading things from this Jonathan Kahn. It's one of my favorites. Okay, this is neat that I have this picture now and stuff like that. Look at his jowls. His jowls. It's kind of cute, you know. You see why everybody likes him. He's got that little poodle hair thing going on. But you know, he's one of the Jewish guys that believes in Jesus. You know. And that you can't get anywhere without this Messiah and stuff like that. But, oh my goodness. The bread of life. I know I've done this before. But let's hear what the boss has to say about it. Because he is one of the leaders here on earth. And lots of people follow this guy. Okay? But let's hear some of his truths. Okay.
Which was called the Afikomen. And that's the one that we remember was broken and hidden away and shrouded. And, well, it's called the Afikomen. It's a Greek word, and almost no Jewish people really knows what it means. Some say it means the after dish because it comes after you ate. But it also can mean in Greek, he who comes.
The after dish. This is, do you know that we do have we have got the Bible down. There's no question about it that when we come to talking and preaching the Bible here, that we have it pretty well down. Okay, so only 7 or 8 people are actually catching on to it. That doesn't bother me much at all. Just so long as 1 or 2 other people are catching on to this at the same time, you know, at least catching on and seeing the spiritual side of our Bible and this code. This code's very important. It takes the heat off of us because, you know, it's there. It's there. It's how we find out what's going on, you know. But in reality, we do have a particular, this is what he's talking about, something that was hidden from us. And that's the idea that, you know, we were the fallen angels. We're from the beginning of the Bible and from the beginning of times. We were person, here, what do we got on my knee? Is there something wrong? There was something hidden, and the hidden from us was mother, all right, and the idea that God is just Father alone. Those are things that are hidden. That's important because in these stories, at the ends of this, they're all praising God. They're talking about bread, and they've got this piece of bread in front of them, I would think, because all we get is this advertisement of his face. But they're breaking bread and they're passing it down the streets with the, I wouldn't say the street, they're passing it around. And they're all going to share in this. And this bread represents the skin. All right. The bread of life is Jesus. And so we want to eat Jesus. And the trouble about that is the eating is, you know, to consume Jesus. So you really want, you want him every day and all the time. You know, you want to just constantly chew on him. But that is the word taken literally, quite literally. All right. The idea of breaking bread, they're taking a piece of bread and they're breaking it and they're passing it around and eating it. Well, in our Bible, this is, you know, only going to pass through you and out your pooper, just like that. It won't give you nothing. It won't give you anything. This is on the idea that no matter what you do when you're following the whore, that you're just not going to get anything out of her. That's religion. You're not. It's meant to be a dead end place. And even at the end of scriptures, we have the dead Christ on a post. who doesn't come back yet, or isn't, but is gone. Gone is what he's gone. He is not here in the on the story when you're following the word. And instead of this, we kill off the Christ, and the government and the clergy, the Pharisees, come together and they provoke the crowd to kill Jesus, crucify Jesus, and to let it go, the murder. Do you understand that at all? This is about the fallen angels, the idea of men taking on the daughters. So that's really just your mind, the lower mind, taking on this idea, because lower mind is the devil's side of everything. It's the 666. So when it goes down, and it takes these wives with them, and that's religion. And this creates things that will eventually devour us. So here we are talking about eating Jesus and devouring Jesus and getting him inside of us, you know. So the thing is that Jesus represents our soul, all right, as well as this. So break bread in remembrance of me is to break bread, to open up what's inside for the remembrance of me. Do this. All right. So the idea is to break down, go into meditation, and let what's inside of you free. Do this, and this is the remembrance. And on 7, 8, 9, these are all control. The number system of 8 is control. It's the idea of fixing situation, and this is where we get the 4 and 20. This is where we get the 4 beasts from. They're all the fixed areas of the zodiac, of the tribe of Israel's, right, or whatever they are. Okay, the 12 tribes. But we know that this is an outside approach when everything is being taken quite literally, and that no matter what you do, it's not going to work. But it's going to tell the story. You've got to walk the way. And those are your trespasses, because as you do your words, as you walk the word, do the word, you're trespassing against God the entire time. And this is how God gets to come up and on you, you know. He tricks you, you know, because you think everything's all fine and dandy. They all think that they've all been saved. All these people that are on this panel with this dude, they're all talking about, oh God, oh, when I was saved and this and that, you know. No. You can think all you want, but that's the idea. They don't got no Holy Ghost on them. They don't have any of this stuff until the end of times. And then when you do get this end of times, the Bible tells us quite clearly that mother takes over for her. That doesn't mean that mom's going to start teaching you religion. She gets rid of religion, and you cannot have anything to do with that anymore. That's the catch-all situation when it happens. And then you go to town, you go like to me, and you become a teacher. You have to teach the spiritual side of our Bible. So we're not really just kicking and taking this, throwing the entire Bible away with the baptism water, because that too doesn't do anything for you. Not at all. Not at all. So the thing is that, you know, while you're wasting your time on the outside, seeking some kind of help and love and comfort, you're going to men, you're going to priests, you're going to, you know, this is the homosexual business where the mind and its concubine religion come together. This is a homogeneous relationship. This is what is called blasphemous, or not blasphemous, is an abomination, because these two male entities cannot connect together and create a child, because it's just not that way. It's just not yet, not that I've heard of it. But the idea is that when mother comes in, which is the Holy Ghost, and this doesn't happen until you break bread and set your child free. Remember? Yeah. And like they were talking about yesterday, the virgin mind, this has nothing to do with the pussy or anything like that. The virgin mind is the emptiness. And both males and females both can do this by shutting off the lower mind and circumcising themselves from the lower desires and stuff like that, you know. But you become all of these things that the Bible makes fun of, or rebukes, or you're the unclean soul, you're all these things, you're the unbalanced mind, you know, you're unclean through and through, you're the guy that's got the death inside of him, looks real pretty on the outside, but you smell like shit on the inside. You're all of these things that the Bible talks about. You're the hypocrite in here. You are also following religion. Religion is represented in this book as the Pharisees. And the Pharisees don't even go in themselves. And those people that go, and those, when they're talking about heaven, that these people neither go in themselves, and those people that come to them to find more about, they keep them from going into, tell you this is, don't go in there, don't meditate, don't go in there, you're going to release demons and stuff like that. So, you know, and we hear stories of giants, you know, and fighting. David and Goliath, this is when we get a chance to chop his head off, you know, and we get to, with the big guy, the giants are known to have like chains around their necks. So that means that they're not able to use what's inside of them. And when we are in this Nazarene mode, it's the same idea. It's like having chains around your neck because you're not allowed to go inside and feed from the vine, which is inside of us. This is Jesus. This is that idea that once you finally set this child free, it climbs this vine and reaches up here and brings on mother. So these are types of feeding that you're not allowed to do. So this is what is hidden from us. That is what is hidden from us. And then the Bible comes along and hides it even more by these people talking about the bread of life, you know, and taking a real live piece of bread and breaking it and eating it up. And, oh, I got Jesus in me now. Well, maybe for about, you know, an hour or two, or maybe tomorrow sometime, you'll deposit him. You'll deposit Jesus in your commode. All right, so I love you guys. You know, I really do. Breaking bread. It can be all kinds of stuff, you know. What did I say? I write in here all the time. This is where I do a lot of my shopping, right? The bread of life is a spiritual symbol representing the skin of an individual. Break this for the remembrance of me. So what does it mean? What does it mean to edit? What does it mean to break this? It means to break, to separate from the skin. For our skin is not allowed in heaven. It's unclean. So we have to remove our garments. Another name for our skin. So it's renting our clothing, to tear. All of these things are about meditation. And how does one get inside of themselves? Why, breaking bread, of course. You know, so then it just goes back around again. Round and round, 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 round. So let's go ahead and save this. But anyways, Jonathan Kahn doing his best. What a cool name, huh? Kahn, the Kahn man. And so, you know, long story short, we know our Bible pretty damn good now. And, you know, it doesn't matter. It's not reflected in our number system and stuff like that, and how many people actually care to hear what the hell I got to say. You know, who cares? All right. There's enough information being brought about, and I keep going strong regardless of what people think, you know, and what ails us as how it is that no one can understand what we're saying. Well, because the Bible tells us God does that, you know, so he lifts the veil for us people that go in and get them fixed, get themselves corrected. The veil is lifted. It means you can see now what the hell is going on. And knowing this is pretty cool. All right. So we know that the whole damn world is one hellacious place. And that while you're of the lower mind, that you are actually, you know, celebrating and supporting one side of God, and that's the negative side. There's only two ways. You can either serve Father or serve the devil, you know. Unbeknownst to you, most people serving Satan. That's our Bible. Our Bible's telling us that. That's one side of God. So don't be so mad about it. He's the one where all the fun comes from and stuff like that, you know. All your desires and wants are part of the pit. So don't get so freaked out over stuff like that. What people do with that energy, not worry about that. But the other side is that, you know, once you finally pop over to this other side, you no longer add to that situation or take from that situation. You have been lifted out of that particular vibration and somehow shielded away from that kind of problem. And that's what's offered you whenever you finally make it over here. You get yourself back. And then nothing, and everything that comes against you is held back from you. And it's pretty cool. I could use it. All right. So anyways, I love you guys. Hope you're well. All right. And hope you get something out of this. I'll be back later.